Good afternoon and welcome to 90 Minutes Live in association with Easy Shelf Direct, which finds us on the road this afternoon in Buckinghamshire. We're at the home of Cheshire United. We're going to be watching Aylesbury United against Ware. The Grand National may be off in just over an hour with 34 horses going over 4 miles, but the race for promotion from Southern League Division 1 Central started back in August. 19 runners over 9 months, and we're now down to the final 7. Ware start this afternoon in second place. They're top of the form table, and a win here this afternoon would leave them wanting just 1 point from their final 2 league games to assure post-season football for the third time in as many years. Aylesbury United lead the points though. They're looking nervously over their shoulders at the bottom 3. So a win here would do their cause no end of good. Unbeat Hill will have full live commentary coming up, and apologies first of all for the BA. The speaker he's almost on my shoulders as it cuts out, so hopefully won't be hearing too much of that throughout the match, but we will be hearing from our match summariser. A very good afternoon to Simon Alamandy.
Yeah, good afternoon, Pete. Good afternoon, everyone. And I'm glad that's just finished, because otherwise I think I'd have missed my cue. Oh, dear me. Yeah, but I mean, you know, it's a beautiful afternoon here at Aylesbury as well. It's, you know, almost sort of like in summer weather, and, you know, I was almost thinking about taking my jumper off. It's that warm. But, yeah, looking forward to another good game. As you say, the race for promotion is well and truly on, and you know, another couple of weeks to go, and going to be an exciting couple of weeks as well.
Certainly is. Teams just coming out. It's Aylesbury United's Community Day. It's been free admission for a number of fans who registered on the website. So certainly thumbs up to them for that. A lot of kids here this afternoon in the bright sunshine as the two teams come out to greet us. Aylesbury United already noticed in those green and white diagonal striped shirts with a horrible kind of gold numbers on the back, so that's going to make life interesting. So we have gold, orange and black are the colours for Ware this afternoon. And the big news for Ware is they show 2 changes from the side that won last time out at home to Kidlington, and one of them is one of the best stories in Southern League Division 1 Central, I would say, because captaining Ware this afternoon is Lewis Rose. Lewis, who came on as a substitute last week against Kidlington, makes his first start since the 28th of October when Ware were away at Biggleswade. He's had cancer treatment since then. He is back, and what a great time to welcome the skipper back to a Ware side which has Fred Burbage in goal. Steph Giorgio will operate at right back. In the absence of David Soter, although he is on the bench, Ben Siggers continues at left back. 2 central defenders, no Jack Grosvenor this afternoon, he's otherwise engaged, so it's Lewis Rose and Echo Koga. The midfield shield is provided by Alex Warman and Freddie Moncur. Jack Dreyer will play just in front of those two, and a front 3 of Theo Afori, who's absolutely on fire at the moment. 5 goals in his last 4 games. John Clements and Joe Dearman. The Ware substitutes: Richard Enning, Kieran Bishop, George Ironton, David Soter and Gab Chaps. As far as Aylesbury are concerned, just 1 change for them from the side that won 5-0 at Kempston last time out. They'll be in confident mood. Tom Cove comes in for Braden Daniels. So they'll start with James Callan in goal, Max Kavanagh, Jake Bewley, Jack Wood, Derek Fahey, David Lynn, Hayden Beadle, Tom Cove, Ken Fahey, David Pearce and Quime Marsh Brown. On the substitutes bench for the home side, Ben Peters, Charlie Tuttle, Liridan Daka, Josh Guthrie and Eamon Dardu. The referee this afternoon is Maras Valco, who comes from 9 Elms in London, and his assistants Alfred Finch Critchley and Mark Bright. I think I'll show my age here. Peter Rhodes Brown was a double-barrelled footballer. I remember we even got double-barrelled assistants now. What's going on?
It does seem to be cropping up a lot, doesn't it, nowadays? You know, all these double-barrelled names seems to be the well, if I say the fashion, but you know, it seems to be the in thing.
So 2 skippers inside the centre circle. Jack Wood has got to be said for him, 600 appearances plus for Aylesbury United. A real man of non-league football. I told you about the BA, warned you about that as it just cuts in above us, but not for long, because we're about to get underway here at the real business end of Southern League Division 1 Central. We've only got 2 Saturdays left after this one, and every point is vital. Ware start in second. They're 4 points behind Biggleswade Town, and with that win against Welwyn Garden City on Thursday night. But then down to Waltham Abbey in fifth, there is only 3 points. It's vital, every point, and it's going to go absolutely right to the wire, as it should in this division, where we've had some strange results, but it has been competitive all the way along, as Ware prepare to kick off, kicking from right to left at this meadow ground here in Chesham. Came out and you look at it, you come here, the pitch looks incredibly wide, but I don't know, it's just my eyesight. But waiting for our referee, Marcus Falco, to check with both his assistants and to get things underway, and we do here. 2 more games after this for Ware, 1 away and 1 at home next week against AFC Dunstable. And Theo Afori immediately on the attack down the right-hand side and does well. Theo's in the box here, still going, and overran it just a little bit, and it took Jack Wood to come in and give Ware their first corner inside the opening minute.
Yeah, I mean, immediate start there from Ware, looking really to to get things started nice and quickly. And we know, we've said the last few times that we've seen them, and it's been a bit of a bugbear for them about having a slow start.
Well, the corner comes across, up goes John Clements on the near post, and in the end it goes off an Aylesbury defender and behind for another corner on that far side. Goalkeeper didn't look too aware of that. James Callan, he's a former Barnet player. He became the youngest player ever to play in the National League when he made his debut for Barnet, age 16. He's now here with Aylesbury United. Joe Dearman got another chance to take the corner from that far side. Echo Goker and Lewis Rose up from the back. Goalkeeper this time does get a decent punch, only to the edge of the area. Alex Warman's ball on the far side will find Joe Dearman. Joe switches it on to the left foot. Theo Afori lets it go. Goalkeeper just saves it, and in the end it's headed out. And Ware with an opportunity in the first couple of minutes to go in front.
Yeah, I mean, good work there from Ware, applying early pressure here on Aylesbury, and it looks like Paul's had a word with them, and he really wants them to come firing out the box, and that's what they're doing.
Steph Giorgio going in on that far side of the field, and it's now straight boot from Jake Bewley that puts the ball out. Forgive me for the numbers, they are the worst numbers I think I've ever seen in football out there. Totally indistinguishable from their shirts, but we'll do as best we can to identify who's out there playing for Aylesbury United this afternoon. Where I've got a throw in far side, no Mitch Hahn, so no long throw. Steph Giorgio takes it short to John Clements, who loses out to Bewley, and then midway inside the Aylesbury half, the challenge comes in from Freddie Moncur, and the ball will go out for a throw in on that far side of the field. Just 5 wins from 19 home games for Aylesbury United so far, and they're adopted at home here at Chesham. Throw only finds Steph Giorgio, where lose out, and it's Bewley who gets it back again, puts it down the line but can't keep it in play, so it'll be a throw in to Ware on that far side. Steph Giorgio inside the Aylesbury half here at Chesham. In the opening 2 minutes, where we've been camped. Home side yet to get out of their own half. Ball put up in the air. Up goes Joe Dearman. Hits his back, but breaks to Jack Dreyer, looking for Clements, and in the end the ball will break on that far side to Bewley, and finally a chance for Aylesbury United to come forward. Long ball forward, but straight into the midriff of Echo Goker, who brings it down on the halfway line. Steph Giorgio down the line looking for Theo Afori. Theo can't keep it in, and the ball will go out for a throw in to the home side. Ware, of course, top of that form league, 6 games played, 15 points. They've won their last 5, so they're and certainly at home they're in absolutely stunning form, having won their last 8 games. Throw in Max Kavanagh, the right back for Aylesbury, will take it. Gets the ball back off of David Lynn, but Ware have got it back with Echo Coker. Jack Dreyer can't quite control the ball, and in the end it's just volleyed forward. And Siggers couldn't win the ball away from Ken Fahey, but Ware will get it back far side. Theo Afori midway inside the Aylesbury half. Theo drifting in field. Alex Warman has to put the brakes on a little bit, then finds Steph Giorgio down the right-hand side. It's been a lively start by Ware. Steph Giorgio gets the ball across the box. It's Theo Afori. John Clements tries the shot, blocked inside the 6-yard box. Clements having another go, gets the ball back. And on the far side, we'll bring in Steph Giorgio again. It's all Ware at the moment. Steph goes for a run against Bewley, who does well. Decent defending by the left back. Showed good experience there and comes forward with the ball. Fahey can't control it on the halfway line though. Ware have got it back with Echo Coker once again. Echo Coker not with his normal defensive partner Jack Grosvenor. Not available this afternoon. He's had that amazing record with Ware, but so is Alex Warman. Alex Warman's played 12 games so far for Ware. They've won 9, drawn 2 and only lost 1. So he really has been a good luck charm since his signing. Freddie Moncur back for Echo Coker. Freddie gets the ball back again. He's in the absence of Mitch Hahn, but many Ware supporters feel he should be in from the start. Very popular character. Ball will find its way on that far side. Bewley just stretches a leg out to try and get it away from Theo Afori. Theo's got it back though. Freddie Moncur screaming for it. Here's Jack Dreyer right hand side of the area. Jack fires it across, all the way across the box. John Clements couldn't get a touch, and it's cleared by Kavanagh on this side to Marsh Brown, who's come short to collect the ball. But good cross, but nobody gambled on it.
No, it was good work getting across the box there, and good ball across, but no one there to put a foot on it and turn it into the net.
Steph Giorgio for Alex Warman on the halfway line. Ware have started this like a team top of the form lead and second in the table. Aylesbury have not had a touch inside the Ware half in the opening 6 minutes. Steph Giorgio chips it forward looking for John Clements. Bewley gets there first. Perhaps a chance now for Aylesbury to make some inroads on that far side. The ball goes to Ken Fahey down that far side. He's forced backwards, but Aylesbury will look for Marsh Brown on this near side. He can't control it, but he's got some pace about him. Will look to try and keep the ball in, but can't. He's a former Arsenal youngster. Another Barnet connection there. His brother Keanu, of course, was a former Barnet player. He used to play his football at Fulham as well. There's Ben Siggers, who's in for David Soto. David was undergoing what we thought was a bit of a fitness test before the kick-off, so he's fit enough to be on the bench, but Ben Siggers there in his place. Header comes in from Derek Fahey once again, but will land with Jack Dreyer, who shrugs aside Marsh Brown and finds Freddie Moncur. Near side, Ben Siggers gives the ball away, and forward will come Aylesbury on that left-hand side of the field, but Steph Giorgio gets a boot in. Bewley will let it run and go out for a throw-in on that far side of the field. Long ball hoofed forward, looking for Ken Fahey. He's there with Lewis Rose. Fahey goes down. Lewis leaves the ball for Steph Giorgio to thump it back into the Aylesbury half, and out will come the own goalkeeper Callan to save it going for a throw-in, and he'll find Jake Bewley, who will give the ball back to the goalkeeper, all in it's not kind of pink. What is that colour?
It's a bright pink, isn't it? I mean, it's quite leery.
Quite leery. We're coming forward in their orange shirts. Freddie Moncur looks to pick out Joe Dearman, but overheats it. The ball will go out of play. Kavanagh with the throw for David Lynn. Kavanagh pushes the ball forward. It's chipped down this right-hand side by David Pearce, but Echo Coker gets in there, and it'll be a throw to Aylesbury. First time we've really seen them inside the Ware half. Throw finds Jack Wood. Kavanagh finds Wood again, but Ware have got players behind the ball, and in the end it's just thumped to the edge of the Ware area, where Coker will pick it up, hit it against Ken Fahey, and the ball will go out for a throw in to Ware. Only 7 wins in 19 away games, so while our home form has been solid as a rock, the away form has sometimes been questionable for Wolves' team. Hertford, Leighton, Cirencester, AFC Dunstable, Tame and North Lee will have gained maximum points as the ball was threaded out on that left-hand side by Aidan Beadle. Ball pushed inside for Aylesbury to David Pearce, but Steph Giorgio comes away with the ball for Ware. Possibilities here. Giorgio coming forward. He's across the halfway line. He's got Theo Ofori on his right-hand side, but in the end just tamely gives the ball away and goes down. That's of concern whenever Steph Giorgio goes down, and Steph is still down as Aylesbury United come away down that left-hand side. Freddie Moncur's back doing the defending. Steph's up now, but gingerly making his way back inside the Ware half as Lewis Rose thumps the ball out on that far side as far as Hayden Beadle. Beadle looks to go round Jack Dreyer, who's doing the defending, and in the end he puts it off the Ware man and wings Aylesbury United a corner. And Steph Giorgio just trotting back, but a little bit worrying.
Yeah, I mean, as you said, it always is when Steph goes down. He's not the sort of player that's that's just going to go down for no reason. And obviously, we know the problems he's had so far this season. And I think it's something that we just might need to keep an eye on and make sure he's okay.
Jake Bewley's coming across to the bench here under the instruction of the referee. Don't quite know what that is. Some form of. I think he's taking an aspirin inhaler. So it is pretty warm, 23 it said in the car on the way here, so it's one of those days that maybe you don't expect in the middle of April. Just having a word with the referee. Corner's going to be taken on that far side by David Pearce. Aylesbury have got players up from the back. The Fay brothers will provide a little bit of aerial presence in there. Referee waiting is going to come the corner, coming over with the left boot, comes to the far post, and up it was one of the Fay brothers, Derek, who just heads it wide. Didn't really get too much on it, but he's certainly he's a character that you don't want to run into, isn't he? Derek Fay, no word.
He is a large chap.
He's a big fella.
I mean, I noticed during the warm up as well. I was watching him just down here, and I wouldn't fancy bouncing off of him because I hate to think what would happen.
I've had Adibarakan Fenwer, who used to play for Wickham, not too far away from here, and he's got a bit of a looky-likey, I think. It's a long kick forward onto the head of Kavanagh. Marsh Brown can't get there, and he'll go out for a throw-in to Ware on this near side. We had 12 minutes on 90 Minutes Live in association with Easy Shelf Direct. Ware made the better of the start, but Aylesbury have come back into it. Was Ware with Alex Warman on the halfway line looked to search out Theo Ofori on the far side. Bewley gets there first though, and forward will come Aylesbury United with Tom Cove. Cove plays the ball outside to Bewley. Ware could be caught short here. Ball across and poured away by Fred Burbage for a corner. I don't think Jake Bewley was that shot or across. I don't think he knows, but Fred Burbage had to deal with it.
Well, I mean, I rather fancy it was a cross. It looked like the way he shaped up for it and the way he's hit it. Looks like it was a shot, but a fantastic save by Fred just to claw it away, put it out for an Aylesbury corner.
Corner to be taken on this near side of the field. Going to be hit to the far post where Echo Coker easily clears as far as Theo Ofori, but ball given away in the end off of Derek Fay, and will go out for a throw-in on that far side of this big ground here at the Meadow, Chesham. It's been a successful ground with Chesham United being promoted, of course, from Southern League Premier. Throw-in to be taken on that far side will land on the head of Steph Giorgio. Theo Ofori picks it up, will play it back to Echo Coker, who thumps it towards the halfway line, and John Clements. Clemo does well to control it, look for Joe Dearman on this near side, but Kavanagh's in the way, and Bewley will pick it up on the halfway line, right-footed downfield. Lewis Rose in the way this time for Ware. Volleyed from one to the other, and in the end it's Ben Siggers who thumps it back into the Aylesbury half, and the young goalkeeper James Callan trying to keep it in, but it will go out for a throw-in to Aylesbury. It was a bit of rugby union there, and trying to get territorial advantage on that far side of the field. But it's going to be Jake Bewley, the 32-year-old's made over 350 appearances for Aylesbury. For a club that do get faithful servants. Him and Jake Wood have made nearly 1,000 appearances between the two of them in non-league football. It's going to take the throw in down the line onto the head of Afori. Alex Woolman reacts quickest. And Theo Afori for Jack Dragg couldn't take the ball on, and in the end it was Wood who got it away, but only as far as Lewis Rose. Chips it forward onto Faye's head, but he'll only find Alex Woolman midway inside the Aylesbury half. Alex goes backwards to the halfway line to Lewis Rose. Joe Demon's in plenty of space on this near side, but we're content to play it about a bit and look perhaps a little more for that right hand side. Comes across now. Echo Goka's got it on the halfway line. Looks up. Plays it square to Lewis Rose. Everything slows down just a little bit on the halfway line again. He's Steph Giorgio seems to have recovered from that slight breakdown he had a little bit earlier on. Echo Goka picks it up inside his own half. Lack of urgency is not something you normally see from Ware. Seen it from Hartford plenty this season, but not from Ware. Coming forward now, Lewis Rose puts the ball forward for John Clements. Right hand side is Theo Afori. Theo gets the ball caught under his boot a little bit. Has to go backwards for Freddie Moncur. Steph Giorgio square for Freddie again. Chips it to the edge of the box where he finds John Clements. Clements got Faye at his back, finds Theo Afori. Theo drifts, drops a shoulder, still on the edge of the area, puts it inside that area, but it's pretty easily dealt with in the end, but then given away to Steph Giorgio, who starts coming down that right-hand side for Ware. Steph gets the ball across the box, out by Derek Fahey, only for Theo on the edge of the area. Theo with the right foot, looked to set up Jack Dreyer. Aylesbury got the ball clear, but only as far as Joe Dearman. Joe in front of us here. Left-hand side for Ben Siggers. Joe picks the ball up again. Plays the ball back for Alex Warman, finds Freddie Moncur. Freddie goes back inside his own half for Echo Goga. Gets it back on the halfway line for Joe Dearman. Ben Siggers back to Echo Goga. Patient build-up from the visitors yet again. Echo Goga to the halfway line where he finds Ben Siggers. Back to Echo, who looks up and is just looking for somewhere to pass it at the moment and hasn't got a lot of options, so just side foots it right hand side for Lewis Rhodes. Lewis for Steph Giorgio. Aylesbury have got players back. They've got men back in numbers here. They're well organised, and that's why Ware are taking their time a little bit in getting forward here. They've conceded 40 goals in their 19 home games, so almost 2 a game, but Echo Coca's ball is caught out by Marsh Brown. Long ball forward to Ken Fahey. He's wrestling away with Lewis Rose, but in the end Ben Siggers comes to his rescue. Gives it away to Marsh Brown though. Here's Kai Marsh Brown on that far side of the field. Aylesbury once more trying to build up, but the ball infield finds David Lynn. He's long ball forward, finds Ken Fahey on the edge of the area. Fred Burbage had come out, and I don't think Fahey was aware that Fred had come out quite so far there.
No, I don't think he was. I seemed to sort of like catch him unawares and seemed a little bit sort of like the way he moved. Seemed a little bit surprised that Fred was there, but he's knocked it against Fred, and thankfully Fred's just been able to turn around and pick the ball up for a goal kick. 17 minutes gone and 90 minutes live in association with Easy Shelf Direct. Ware made the more prominent start, but Aylesbury showing signs that they can be dangerous as Ken Fahey goes down under challenge from Ben Siggers in front of the dugouts here. And there'll be a free kick to our home side. The dugouts here are those indestructible versions of dugouts, kind of the ones we had at Leighton Town, I seem to remember, but they do cut out the touch line, so it's a little bit difficult to see over the top of them. Our commentary position in the front row of the stand, which is unusual. We've got a nice bench in front of us, which is most welcome.
Beadle puts the ball across the box. Up goes Ken Fahey, but in the end there's a linesman's flag up as Fred Burbage collects the ball. And, well, it was a sharp start, but much more even now.
Yeah, it is. And, obviously Ware had the upper hand for the first 10 minutes or so. And they've slowed the pace right down now. I don't know. Obviously, I'm presuming that's intentional. They're looking for spaces, looking for sort of like Aylesbury to slip inside a little mistake and leave things open for Ware to break into. And there's still plenty of time in this game, so there's no rush for Ware to carry on at the speed and the momentum they was going for in the first 10 minutes.
Little flurry of Ware substitutes. George Irons and Gab Chaps and Richard N in there. Just having a little bit of a trot along the sideline. Long kick forward by the goalkeeper Callan onto the head of Lewis Rose. Ben Siggers beats Marsh Brown to it in the air. David Lynn's going to pick it up inside the centre circle and find Kavanagh, who puts it down the line once again for Guy Marsh Brown, who can't keep it in. And Ware will have a throw in. Freddie Moncur, busy as ever, will pick the ball up, find Echo Coker. Echo's ball on that far side, looking for Steph Georgia. The one thing being behind the dugouts, we can't see what Paul Halsey and Joe O'Brien are up to, which is usually part of the entertainment when you're watching Ware. But I can assure you they are in that dugout. As ball comes back to Echo Coker inside the centre circle, stretches those long legs a little bit, plays the ball forward, but plays it straight at Quai Marsh Brown. Marsh Brown for David Lynn. David Lynn's long ball looks for the run of Ken Fahey on the edge of the area, shadowed by Lewis Rose, and has got Ben Siggers there with him now. Fahey plays the ball inside for Marsh Brown, attempted 1-2, but Lewis Rose read that and just volleys it out of play on this near side of the field. David Lynn will pick it up for Aylesbury. Off the edge of the boot, Echo Coker gets it clear. Lynn will get it back, bring it down, but it's robbed of the ball by Freddie Moncur. Plays the ball dangerously across his area and in the end gives it away, and Alex Warman couldn't collect it, and Aylesbury back in possession on this near side with their right full-back Max Kavanagh. Kavanagh for David Lynn again. Kavanagh, though, all the way back to James Callan. And I feel the players might be feeling the heat a little bit because the game did start off on a good pace but has slowed down considerably since then. Kavanagh forward as Jack Dreyer tries to pick the pocket of David Lynn, and in the end he forces the mistake out of Kavanagh and Ware get the ball back. Jack Dreyer inside for Joe Dearman. Joe Dearman back inside his own half for Lewis Rose. Lewis far side for Steph Giorgio. Steph walking base, more Aylesbury United walking football at the moment as people going across in front of us, some trying to duck, some not. It's very nice, appreciative to those that are ducking and not obscuring our view. As Echo Coker picks the ball up inside his own half. Long ball far side of the field over the top of Theo Ofori and out for a throw into Aylesbury. And one thing I can't help but say, I don't think this slow pace suits Ware. They're most effective when they're banging the ball around.
Yeah, no, I don't think it does suit them at all, does it? We know the sort of football that they like to play, and they like to sort of like control the pace and make it a bit faster. They don't like all this slow build-up stuff. It's not what they're used to. And obviously, as you said, we don't know. We can't see what sort of instructions or what Paul or Joe are saying. But I'm sure if their frustration got any higher, that we'd certainly hear them.
Freddie Moncur picks the ball up, finds Lewis Rose still inside his own half. On the halfway line is Jack Dreyer, who finds Steph Giorgio. Steph back for Lewis Rose. And, David Tuttle has got Aylesbury well organised, certainly. He's a former Tottenham player, of course, David Tuttle, amongst other clubs that he represented. Sheffield United, Crystal Palace, Millwall. A good amount of Football League experience. The Aylesbury manager, he was Millwall manager once, but has then managed exclusively non-league football since then, as Joe Dearman almost nicks the ball off of Kavanagh, who turns inside him, plays the ball down the line, but straight at Ben Siggers, and Ware with Joe Dearman. Siggers again on the halfway line, long ball forward, looking for the run of Clements. Jack Wood's in the way. Kavanagh can't keep it in. It's going to be a throw in right in front of us. Our commentary position midway inside the half, being defended in this first half by Aylesbury United. Front row of the stand, Joe Dearman's giving it away. The ball forward by Pearce, and Ken Fahey's on there. Ken Fahey against Fred Burbage. Ken Fahey goes inside. That was good defending in the end by Steph Giorgio, coming across from right back, who did just enough to put Ken Fahey off, but he'll know he should have scored.
Yeah, he should have done, shouldn't he? He had the opportunity. I mean, he could have found him, or should have found himself one-on-one with Fred there. And he's obviously, he's taken his time. He's tried to turn, tried to take him, a step too much, and failed the chance. And he'll be disappointed. And as people can probably hear, these Aylesbury fans are disappointed not to have a 1-0 lead.
Best opportunity of the match so far falls to Aylesbury United's Ken Fahey. Got to certainly give a big thumbs up to Steph Giorgio, who spotted the danger and did just enough to put the big centre forward off. I thought the BA was loud. Long kick forwards, and it will land with Freddie Moncur, although Beadle beats him to it. Long ball forwards by Bewley, which Giorgio will take first of all and then lose out. And back come Aylesbury down that left-hand side with Hayden Beadle. Beadle going all the way, pulls the ball back. Oh, and Pearce's shot leaning back out the ground and over the top. Ware need to pick up the pace here. This walking football's not suiting them, and Aylesbury are fancying it.
Yeah, I mean, I think Aylesbury, can sense a little bit, can't they can sense some opportunities coming for them. They're working that ball down that left-hand side. The last had a couple of opportunities from there, and that's where they can see their chances coming from.
Fred Burbage from the goal away to our right-hand side then. We've had 26 minutes of the first half here. Ware made the brighter start. Aylesbury have had the better chances since then, but it's still 0-0. Long kick forward, Joe Dearman's beaten in the air. Freddie Moncur gets it on the halfway line, but it's easy for Wood. On that far side of the field, he finds Tom Cove, but it's given away, and Steph Giorgio will bring in Theo Ofori down the right-hand side. Theo drifts inside, as is his wont. Theo still going. Joe Dearman's made the run. Here's Joe inside the area, couldn't collect it, and in the end it's Jack Wood who gets it clear. Kai Marsh-Brown, Ben Siggers behind him. Kavanagh long ball forwards. Echo Coker should be favourite and wins it in the air. David Lynn deflects it as far as Joe Dearman on this near side. Joe's being tugged and harried by Kavanagh, and the ball goes out of play for a throw in to Ware, which Ben Siggers, wearing number 3 right in front of us, will take. He's in because of the injury to David Soter, although some may say he's unlucky not to be the first choice left back, as John Clement's header with one bounce goes straight into the arms of James Callan, who bowls it out on that far side for Jake Bewley. Further down the line he finds Tom Cove coming forward. Cove against Giorgio, and Cove seems to have the beating of Steph Giorgio until Steph trips him and gives away a free kick on that far side of the field. It's going to be a free kick to Aylesbury. Referee just having a little bit of a word with Steph, I think. I don't think he's going to produce a yellow card this particular occasion, or is he? He's having a good chat with him. But free kicks will be taken by Pearce on that far side for Aylesbury. Both Fahey brothers are in the box. Didn't produce a card, so sensible, I think, by the referee. Free kick right down by that far side touchline then. It's going to be swung in by Pearce with the left boot. High one to the edge of the area, and Echo Gogo missed his clearance first time, got it second time. Freddie Moncur's long ball into the area as Callan coming all the way out and just skies it out of play for a throw in to Ware. just need to get players like Jack Dreyer involved in the game a little bit. He's been a bit part player. We know how dangerous he can be. 9 goals this season, a test of that. But really found those little pockets of space that he's wont to do behind a very well-marshalled defence and a midfield 4, which has David Lynn playing the Alex Warman role in protecting that back 4. Ware have got it inside their own half with Steph Giorgio forward. Here is Jack Dreyer, finds Theo Ofori on that far side. Theo moves inside once again. Theo still going. Goes around 1, goes around 2. Theo still going, and in the end it was Derek Fay who managed to get the boot in. As Theo looked as if he might have teed up a shot. It's his brother Ken Fay who plays the ball back on that far side to Bewley, who's given it away to Cove, and Steph Giorgio, who's got his hands full a little bit with 18-year-old Tom Cove on that far side, puts the ball out for a throw-in to Aylesbury United. 0-0 here at the Meadow in Chesham. Hartford in action, could do Ware a favour, of course. Playing Bedford at the new Erie. Welling Garden City in action as well. Got a tough one away at Stopfold. Here's Tom Cove inside the box, pulls it across, and this time takes a deflection before going into the side netting. And it's going to be a corner to Aylesbury, and he's looking dangerous down that left side, Tom Cove.
He is, isn't he? Yeah, I mean, he's created a couple of opportunities so far, and as you said, he's giving Steph some real problems, and he's definitely one of them that we need to keep an eye on and watch for the opportunities that he's creating, because it could cause some problems. I see Joe just edging out of the dugout, so he's obviously got something on his mind as well.
Corner coming across, another high one, and Lewis Rose just managed to get a touch. Back in by Jack Wood, headed out by John Clements inside his own 6-yard box. Up and over by Alex Warman. It's still on the edge of the box, and Clemo will just volley it towards our halfway line, and Theo Ofori, he's beaten to it by Bewley, and Aylesbury will come forward again with Pearce. Finds Jake Bewley on the far side. Bewley's crossed a good one, headed down by Derek Fay, and 2 players going in on the edge of the area. In fact, it was Jack Wood who was in there. In the end, Ware managed to scramble it clear. Siggers did a good chance of getting ahead of Fred Burbage and snuffing out the danger, but it was almost Jack Wood who managed to get the ball in for Aylesbury. Steph Giorgio, who's not having the best of afternoon so far, has given the ball away on that far side. Ken Fay, it's the kind of the part of the game where Ware need to dig in here. Aylesbury have been the better side in the last 10 minutes. Still 0-0 though. The other games with top teams in the division. Biggleswade Town at home to Tame. AFC Dunstable get a weekend off, and Waltham Abbey at home to North Lee. You would expect them to win that. Also Cirencester in with a, well, not too much of a chance, but still in with a mathematical chance home to Barton. Long kick forward, thrown onto the chest of Kavanagh. Volleys it forward only to Echo Coker. Echo's chip ball looks for Theo Ofori as it nipped off the head of Derek Fay, but had enough about it to run through to the goalkeeper Callan, who picks out the dangerous Tom Cove again on that far side. He's drifted inside Giorgio this time. Left foot looking for Quai Marsh Brown on this near side. Siggers is there first though and does a decent job. Linesman's flag goes up and suggests that Ben Siggers' touch actually took that behind for a corner.
Yeah, it looks like that's what the referee's signalling, but more danger there for Ware. I mean, a good opportunity they just had. Theo sort of obviously the ball ran just a little bit too far for him to be able to reach that one, but it's I think a little bit of frustration starting to come into his Ware players. As we said before, Pete, they're not being able to play the game as the way they'd like to.
Corner to come in from this near side. I one going for the back stick. Echo Coker gets there first. Freddie Moncur helps it on. Turned back in by David Lynn. Looking for Ken Fay, and this time it's Giorgio who manages to get it clear. Echo Coker completely scuffs his clearance, but luckily Ben Siggers was there and then slices it high onto the roof of the stand we're in. So it's emergency stations for Ware. Kavanagh's got the throw midway inside the Ware half. 0-0 here at the Meadow in Chesham. A lovely aspect behind the goal, rolling hills and trees. And brilliant sunshine here at Buckinghamshire. Derek Fay back to the goalkeeper Callan. Callan on this near side brings in Jack Wood, who plays once again to the considerable figure of Derek Fay. Plays it left side for Bewley. Bewley down the line looking for Tom Coe. Beaten to it this time by Giorgio, but Bewley will get the ball back again onto the left foot. Looks to release Marsh Brown on this near side. Siggers is there, and once again Ben Siggers has to put it behind by Aylesbury's fifth corner of the half. It's once again that diagonal ball left to right is something they favour, but Ben Siggers has stuck to it well so far.
Yeah, he's having a good game so far, Ben, and he's obviously there's not been too much of the ball down this right hand side, but when it's been swinging in from the other side, and he's had to to deal with certain aspects of what's happened, and he's dealt with it well.
Corner to be taken again on this near side of the field. One arm up from Pearce. Marsh Brown fancied the short one, goes over the top of everybody, and Ekokoka's last man there. He's being hassled and harried and beaten in the end by Fay, Derek Fay, and skied into the trees on that far side and away for a throw-in to Aylesbury. The Fay brothers certainly giving Ware a few problems up there with their physical approach, as the throw-in will be taken on that far side of the field. We've got 10 minutes before the break here on 90 Minutes Live in association with Easy Shelf Direct. Pete and Simon with you. 2 more Saturdays of the season remain, and everything to play for both of these two teams here today, of course. Ball inside the Ware area, but it's cleared by Theo Ofori to John Clements. Clements looking for an outlet, and in the end he has his pocket picked by Ken Fay. That was loose from Clemo, but equally loose by Aylesbury, who've given the ball away, and Ben Siggers should clear for Ware now, and does. Sends Joe Demon on his bike down this left-hand side. Gallen had come, but had to backpedal just a little bit, and had enough time to bowl it out to Jake Bewley. Bewley, long ball forward looking for Ken Fay, and Fred Burbage came out, almost misjudged the flight of the ball, but in the end managed to get it the second attempt. Not sure there's a bit of a breeze blowing actually, that might have been the cause of Fred's problem there. Steph Giorgio in possession for Ware, coming from right to left. Steph Giorgio still going, but he's given the ball away in the end. In fact, does manage to win it back, but Derek Fay gets it to Bewley, and Ware could be exposed down their left-hand side now. Although Alex Warman's done a decent job of going across there to cover, and the ball in the end doesn't reach Tom Cove and goes out for a throw-in. Very much the inverted fullback there from Steph Giorgio. It's Fred Burbage to Ekokoka midway inside his own half, near side of the field for Ben Siggers. Ben back to Ekokoka. Most of second part of this half has been played inside Ware territory. Took Aylesbury first 9 minutes to get out of their own half, but since then they've had the better of the game. Forward ball looking for John Clements, but all the way through to the goalkeeper Callan. Not unusual with Ware though, of course. We know they're a second half team. 48 goals after half time, only 29 before, and we're saying it was most un-Ware-like last week against Kidlington. This is returned to form a little bit.
Yeah, it has, hasn't it? I mean, this is what they've been like, the last few weeks, and although it doesn't help things, it doesn't seem to have hindered them, and it certainly seems to be something they're putting in the tea at half time, or something Paul's saying that's having the effect of when they come out for the second half.
Alex Warman finds John Clements, who's come a little bit deep midway inside the Aylesbury half. Is Freddie Moncur, who picks out Theo Ofori right hand side. Theo tries to go round Bewley, claims a free kick, it's not going to get it. The ball goes behind for a goal kick. Both of the full-backs have done a reasonable job against Ware's wide men, who've been dangerous in the last few weeks. Joe Demon's not really got too much for a touch over on this left-hand side from Kavanagh. And Theo Ofori, who started brightly. Bewley seems to have his measure at the moment. And John Clements found it a little bit hard going against Fahey and Wood. The two very solid central defenders. Long kick forward. Lewis Rose wrestling with Ken Fahey. Picked up on the halfway line, and then Bewley thumps it down that left-hand side looking for Tom Cove. And Cove's going to keep the ball in play. As Steph Giorgio was there, was almost sauntering there. Couldn't believe that ball was going to stay in. He's Ken Fahey. Finds Cove again, puts the ball back to Beadle. Ball inside for Bewley. His ball looking for Marsh Brown. And Ben Siggers, his permanent shadow, it appears, is there with him. And Ben just chips the ball out of play for a throw into Aylesbury down this right-hand touchline. Kavanagh takes it for Pearce, puts the ball across off the head of Alex Warman, put in by Ken Fahey, who did ever so well, and straight into the chest of Fred Burbage, and the ball goes out for a throw-in.
Well, I mean, that's another chance that they've had, isn't it? That's another one that should be put away, and it's disappointing for the Aylesbury fans, as hear them groaning here behind us. But I mean, Ware have got away with another one there, I think.
Well, are they going to be made to regret the chances they've missed in this opening 45 minutes? In fact, the ball went out for a throw-in, for a corner rather, in the end, not a throw-in. So the corner's going to be taken far side of the field. Ware have been under pressure here, but it's still 0-0. Corner to come in from Pearce, one arm up. Chips it up, go the heads. Echo Goga gets there first. Kyle Marsh Brown within the edge of the area, but Ware could break here. Here comes Jack Dreyer. He's got Joe Dearman in front. Theo Ofori on the far side. Theo picks it up on the halfway line. John Clements coming forward as well. Theo finds John Clements, who shrugs aside Kavanagh. Finds Theo. Theo again, but the momentum has rather gone from the Ware attack. Still got the ball though, and Ben Siggers coming up on his left-hand side. Ben will look to put it across the box. Decent looking cross in the end, but Bewley will let it run out of play for a goal kick to Aylesbury. They had the break on there, but didn't take maximum advantage of it. And so we still stand at 0-0 with 4 minutes to go before the break here. And we'll tell you what's happening elsewhere in Division 1 Central. Such a congested top six in the division, of course. It's been like it all season. Everybody can beat everybody. Because way down, you would think are favourites to win the title now with their run-in, but you just do not know in this division. Callan will take the goal kick from the goal away to our left-hand side. Just barely makes the halfway line onto the head of Jack Dreyer. Alex Warman does well win the ball, but Kavanagh's going to get there ahead of Joe Dearman, slices it out of play for a throw-in to Ware, which Ben Siggers will take, wearing 3 back into his own half for David Sota. For Ego Goga, rather. David Sota's on the bench, along with Kieran Bishop as well, George Ironton, Gab Chaps, all attacking up. Richard Ennin, plenty of attacking options on the bench for Ware, should they need them. Lewis Rose to this near side for Echo Coker. Echo for Ben Siggers, back to Echo on the halfway line. Again looking for some movement and not finding a lot. John Clements is trying to direct things from up front. But, Steph Giorgio has it across the halfway line. Forward, he looks for Clemo. Clemo's first touch is poor, but he manages to retrieve it. Theo Ofori's one where a throw on that far side, just shy of parallel to the edge of the 18-yard area. John Clements is one who doesn't like the walking football. Certainly made it clear that he wants a bit of pace in the game. Steph Giorgio will take the throw in down the line for Theo Ofori. Theo gets a little shove in the back, but Steph Giorgio forward for Clements. Clements is wrestling with Derek Fahey. He managed to keep the ball, put it inside for Steph Giorgio. Steph fires in the shot, takes a deflection and goes behind for a corner. And some respite finally for Ware. John Clements having a little word with the referee about the challenge from Derek Fahey. Don't think there was a lot in it, but chance from the corner here. Yeah, chance for the corner. Something to Ware to build on, and end the half well. Through the last couple of minutes of this half, going at half time on a positive. Echo Goga's up from the back. Lewis Rose is there as well. Joe Dearman waiting for the ball to come across on that far side. Echo Goga and Ken Fahey and Derek Fahey. I'll tell you what, wouldn't want to be a sandwich between Echo Goga and Derek Fahey, that's for sure. As Joe Dearman, well, the referee spotted something. Theo Forey's on the goal line, which that always confuses me, really. Theo's the smallest player in the Ware team, and yet he's on the goal line. Why don't we play Echo Goga on the goal line? Can't see that one.
I can't answer.
But here comes the corner from Joe Dearman. It's good looking one towards the near post, but the goalkeeper does well to collect it with Jack Dreyer in attendance. Long kick forward looking for Marsh Brown. Giorgio's missed it, but Siggers will just head it back to Fred Burbidge. All in yellow this afternoon, Fred. Takes his time and Echo Goga comes short, but Fred waves him away and bowls the ball out to the middle of his own half. Looking up front, Jack Dreyer's in advanced position. We're with the front four at the moment. Long kick forward. Clements goes up, breaks on the edge of the area for Dearman. Dearman's got plenty of green shirts in front of him. Ben Siggers coming to provide a little bit of help. He does, tries to get the ball across, ricochets off Marsh Brown and goes behind for Ware's second corner in as many minutes.
Well, you know, good pressure. As I said, Ware trying to end the half on positive notes. Trying to get into the Aylesbury box and putting Aylesbury under a little bit of pressure. So, come on, let's see what they can produce from this.
Alex Warman, who has curled one in from a corner this season, of course. That was a Wads and Bart, mind you. But, and curls this one in as well, and it lands on the roof of the net. And I'll tell you what, not too much lower, and that would have given the goalkeeper something to do.
I think it would have done, yeah. I think he had the idea again, didn't he? And he thought of that, tried to curl it in, and gone just over onto the roof of the net. But, as you say, not a million miles away.
Time added on, we're into at the end of the first half of the Meadow in Chesham, adopted home of Aylesbury United. Still stands here in Southern League Division 1 Central. Aylesbury United 0, Ware 0. James Callan restarts, and that's going to be the end of the action. A half that started brightly for Ware, but the opportunities fell. And most of them fell to Aylesbury United's Derek Fahey, who will feel he should, Ken Fahey rather, who feel that he should be on the score sheet. He isn't though, because it stands here at half time. Aylesbury United 0, Ware 0.
That's the crossbar challenge. Well, please come to the play of those.
Fast-paced start, as we said before. First 10 minutes.
Please make your way to the players' entrance.
And Aylesbury really struggling to get out of their own half. But as the game slowed down, Aylesbury.
So I have the winners of the You Can Turn raffle.
And I do really think at one point they could have had a couple of goals.
The first winner is number yellow 36. That's Jack. You have won a hamper.
As I said before, we know what they can do.
The next winner is blue 279. Ollie, you've won some beer.
What he says to them at half time and how they come out in the second
half. And then we have blue 246.
Well, apologies if we're struggling a little bit against the PA system here, but we'll do our best.
228.
In fact, we go into what is the final half-time sequence of the season, which is going to tell you a little bit about the team that we're facing this afternoon. Because it's the first time we've seen Aylesbury this season, so a few facts about Aylesbury, and regular fans will love to know there's a Muppet. The final Muppet fact of the season will be coming up in around about 5 minutes' time. First of all, to tell you though, Aylesbury is the county town of Buckinghamshire. Aylesbury are called the Ducks, of course, because the Aylesbury duck was bred in the town for its feathers and meat. Very famous in the 1800s, but the Peking duck that came in rather took over from the Aylesbury duck, and now there's only one breeder left in Aylesbury. David Bowie's got a big connection with Aylesbury because he performed his albums Hunky Dory and Ziggy Stardust live for the first time at the Friars Club in the town And the town commissioned a statue of David after his death in 2016. Sticking with things of the arts, the Waterside Theatre in the town was owned by Cilla Black in 2010. It cost £47 million to build and took 4 years in doing so. And Arla Aylesbury is the largest dairy in the UK. It packages, I couldn't believe this, but it packages up to 1 billion litres of milk a year. So your pinter may well come from Arla in Aylesbury. 1 billion litres of milk a year. Famous residents include Rhoda Abbott. She was born in the town in 1873 and she was the only woman to fall into the icy waters from the Titanic and survive. So she's a famous character from Aylesbury. Politician Andrea Leadsom. Sir David Jason's lived in the town for 20 years or so. Former England footballer Ellen White played for Arsenal and Manchester City. Nicholas Parsons, who I once saw on stage at Welwyn Garden City, actually, at Campus West, a memorable occasion, because it's a family show. I can't tell you my Nicholas Parsons story, because it does involve a couple of rude words, but if anybody catches me at some stage in the game and wants to hear a Nicholas Parsons story, I'll be glad to tell you. Jack Hargreaves. Now, Jack Hargreaves is a man who used to be in Howl with Fred Dinage and Bunty and another bloke that nobody can remember, and also he used to do Out of Town. He was the man in the shed, and anybody that watches is a Fast Show fan from the 1990s. If you've seen Bob Fleming in his shed, then Bob Fleming was actually based on Jack Hargreaves, who lived in Aylesbury. And John Otway caught its really free fame, and also on, I think it's Netflix, or it's on one of them anyway. There's a terrific film about John Otway trying to get another hit single in the early 2000s, which is quite hilarious. Singles are called Bunsen Burner. And he ended up buying most of the copies, and he did actually get it into the top 40. So he's another famous man from Aylesbury. All right, final Muppet link of the season. I thought it was going to be difficult. It was an easy one, this one. In 1980, scenes for the Great Muppet Caper were filmed at Hadlam Pond, just outside of Aylesbury, with the locals drafted in as extras in the movie. So not only did they film it near Aylesbury, they also had Aylesbury people in the film. So that's a fitting end to the Muppet Links, I think.
I think that's a great end. I'll tell you what, I'm going to miss the Muppet half-time papers next week. I really am. Like I said to you before, I think we're going to have to find another challenge for next year.
We'll go in the order in which everybody signed up,
and
then if there's any extras,
I'm going to go through
you can then go after that. The rules are...
So I'm going to start at the New Eyrie at Bedford Town. Obviously, as we said, they're hosting Hartford, and it's not a good team. Good afternoon
so
for
Gavin,
Bird's team, Pete.
now you're first on the
Bedford
list.
Town are 4-0 up at half time, so I think we can safely say that Bedford will get the 3 points there. Top of the table, Galloway Town, they are hosting Chain United.
Not even taking his sunglasses off, he's that
0-0.
confident.
Cirencester Town, they are 1-0 up on Barton Rovers, as are Hadley against Biggleswade. Came between Gidlington and Leighton Town is 0-0 at half time. And Kings Langley and Kempston Rovers. Kings Langley have an even bigger lead than Bedford Town. They are 5-0 up at half time over Kempston Rovers. Good news for Citizens fans. They have a 1-0 lead at Stockfold at half time. An own goal there. That sounds like the ball went played back to the keeper.
Kyle Brown.
Come off his foot and gone into the net.
Go for the 6-yard line, Kyle?
Game between Wolfram Abbey and Northley. It's Wolfram Abbey who are 1-0 up at half time there.
Well, that's going to be interesting. Bedford's result, 4-0 against Hartford. Disappointing from a Hartford perspective and also from a Ware perspective this afternoon as well. Wolfram Abbey, as we thought they would have been against Northley. Good for Welwyn Garden City to be 1-0 up at half time, and Kempston, well, really, I think that seals their fate, doesn't it?
I think so, yeah, definitely. I mean, we were talking before the game, and it really doesn't look good for them. And it's obviously it's been a tough season for them. But I think it's inevitable now that they'll be playing Step 5 next season.
Yeah, it's very sad. Won't have any more tomato soup. Lovely welcome we got.
Well, that was you and Chris that got it. I didn't get any when I went there. Yeah. Well, I was there a couple of weeks ago. Didn't get none before then. It was terrible, disgraceful. No, it's great. I mean, as we said, as you said at the time, you had a nice warm welcome there at Kingston. We had a nice welcome here. So we've got a nice bench here in front of us. The only problem is the constant flow of people walking past us. But as we're right at the start of the stand, it's kind of understandable. Just a little frustrating, but hey, something that we have to deal with.
Absolutely, I think it's quite funny actually. As people look, shall I dunk? Shall I not? Oh, shall I wait? Oh no, I just walk in front. Thanks to Aylesbury United, thanks to their media team as well, who gave us lots of plugs on the artist formerly known as Twitter and everywhere else as well. Always nice to be supported. And thanks for the really nice comments which came on Facebook during the week as well about our commentaries. Glad that you're enjoying them. The Golden Boots, well, the Golden Boots all over by the shouting, I think, because Evan Mabona at Hatfield Town has really got it wrapped up, barring something miraculous. He's now got 34 this season. And 21, Jamie Marshall for Hertford Heath, who I've got to say, thumbs up to Hertford Heath. They're having a tremendous season in the Premier Division in the Hart Senior County League, having been promoted last year. You thought, well, consolidation, get used to the division. Nothing such for Hertford Heath. They were assured almost of a place in the top 3, which is a tremendous performance by them.
Yeah, a great season for them, and they've done fantastic. Really, as you said, you think they might have sort of, had a sort of a mid-table sort of season or a mid-table finish, but for them to be high up in the league and looking at a top 3 finish is a fantastic effort.
And they've been helped by the goals from Adam Bayliss, who's got 18, but Kamani Collington of Hatfield Town as well. What a strikefuls they are, 54 between them. He's got 20. Durno Winter of Welling Garden City, of course, who's hit a lot of them in the last couple of weeks, has got 18. And Kendall Giamphi of AFC Welling has got 17. The crossbar challenging in here, by the way, going in the background. And just to be technical on that microphone, that's called a dirty pot. That's why it keeps going like that. You need somebody to get hold of it and blow the dust off it, because that's why it's crackling away. Football this week. Suddenly Division 1 Central, no rest for Welling Garden City. They're home to Bedford on Tuesday night, and on the same night AFC Welling are in action as well. They're at home to Stony Stratford Town in South Midland League Division 2. And Hatfield Town have also got a game away to Cuffley Seniors in the Hart Senior County League Premier Division. So plenty of football for you on Tuesday. And, with the look at it, I don't think much can be settled this afternoon apart from Kempston going down, which I'm just trying to work it out actually. If Kempston now will have a goal difference of minus 41, so that really is, even if they do manage to claw themselves level with one of the teams above them, that's just too many goals conceded. And of course, conceded 10 in 2 games because they lost their last game 5-0 home to Aylesbury. Yeah,
and obviously, Kidlington and Tame, they're the 2 teams above them that they could possibly catch after today. And they're both drawing, so I mean that would be, they can get to 35 points, the same as them, but over 20 goals to make up for the goal difference. I think that's going to be too big an ask for them.
Well, Brentwood Town, Biggleswade Town rather, are in the playoffs. They confirmed their position with a 3-0 win at Welling Garden City on Thursday. They will head the table tonight no matter what happens. They're currently drawing against Tame, which would give them 63 points. Win here for Ware, though, could take them on to 61. And should Biggleswade have got a game in hand, of course. Bedford have got a game in hand on Ware as well. And it's not only, of course, about finishing in the top 5. It's about the championship because that hasn't been sewn up yet. But finishing the top 5 is also about finishing second and third. Finish second and third, you get a home playoff.
Yeah. I mean, I'm sure that's obviously what teams will want. I mean, especially where with their home form. And, obviously finishing second, you get that home tie in these the semi-finals playoffs, shall we say, and then the home tie. If you win that, you get the home tie in the final, which is obviously what teams will want. But I don't think teams are going to be massively concerned about that or overly concerned about that. Obviously the main aim for some of those teams that are looking to scrape into the playoffs, the main aim obviously for them is just to make the playoffs. And I'm sure if we spoke to Paul, he would still say the aim is the playoffs, and that's that.
Yeah, absolutely. It's interesting. If you look at the playoffs, I mean, they'll go into the playoffs with a considerable amount of momentum behind them. But also, they'll go into the playoffs with a lot of experience behind them as well. Because, okay, the team's changed, but there are players in there who were, and Lewis Rose coming back is one of them, who are involved in both playoff finals that they've had. There's a manager that's been involved in both playoff finals and a club that's been involved in both playoff finals in the last couple of years. And when you look down those teams, I mean, Bedford got promoted, weren't involved in playoffs. Waltham Abbey, if they do get in there, have not been involved in the playoffs for some time. Welling Garden City haven't been involved at all, and AFC Dunstable, well, they have been involved in playoffs because Ware took them out 2 years ago, but it was a completely different club, let alone a completely different team, because the owners, the manager, everything has changed at AFC Dunstable, so they'll go into it as an inexperienced team as well.
Yeah, I mean, let's not forget, the AFC Dunstable, they're a young side as well, aren't they? So that could sort of possibly work against them. And as you say, the experience that Ware have got. You say Lou Rose, he's been involved in the last two playoff finals. Don't forget you had Fred there, Freddie Moncur as well, and Joe Dearman there last year as well. So those players have that little bit of experience from being there with Ware last year. So hopefully, that if that's the case, and then they do get that far, and hopefully that will give them a little bit more belief and a little bit more beneficial advantage.
Well, fingers crossed for third time lucky if they have to do it by the playoffs, because the route to the championship is still open, of course. That hasn't been sorted out. Could be sorted out next week. Next week, and a massive one, because we will be at Watson Park. And, well, you start a season off, don't you, and say, well, we hope our teams will be competitive by the end of the season. And then you suddenly see that one game from the end of the season, it'll be Ware against AFC Dunstable, who started this morning in second and third.
Yeah. I mean, let's not forget, don't want to get too far ahead of ourselves, but that final game as well against Biggleswade Town. I mean, Pete, how ideal would that be? How fantastic could that be for us if that was a title decider game?
Oh, unbelievable. Well, I tell you what, I remember going to Biggleswade Town when they won 2-1 in the FA Cup, and Lee Rose scored the first goal from a header. And I just wonder, wouldn't it be nice if Brother Lewis got a goal there?
Well, that was pretty much our early days, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think it was one of our first away trips, actually. That was in the FA Cup run that took them on and finally beaten at home to Potters Bar in that year's competition. Teams are back out, no changes for either side. Just wish somewhere, and David Tuttle would have said, "Dear boys, why don't you put a nice white bit on the back of these shirts with those horrible gold numbers?" That would have been nice, but can't have everything.
No, I mean, they don't. As you've said many a time before, they don't always think of the commentators and trying to find out who's there and who's wearing what, and who needs to see the numbers, but it would be nice if we could distinguish them easier.
Well, we've had a go, and I think I haven't done too bad actually. So at least I get to see players now this side of the field who were right on the far side in the first half. So it's going to be Aylesbury United going to get us back underway, kicking from right to left at the Meadow here in Chesham. Beautiful sunshine, blue skies. Come on, you Ducks starts off on the BA system as we get underway in the second half here with everything to play for. 0-0 between Aylesbury United and Ware. Ware have been much more effective in the second half of games this season. Let's hope that tallies out again this afternoon. Give you the team lineups when we get a break in play. Theo Euphoria scuffed the ball to Marsh Brown, and Freddie Burbage is out very quickly on the edge of his area to clear Forward by Freddie Moncur. Forward again by Kavanagh to Echo Coker. Brings the ball down, plays it left side here for Steph Giorgio. For Alex Warman. Joe Dearman, again a stretch play on that far side. Alex has to turn round all on the right foot and finds Echo Coker. It does go to that far side now for Ben Siggers. Comes back on to the halfway line for Echo Coker. Lewis Rose just bobbles on the turf here. It's a decent surface here. We're obviously used to the carpet at Watson Park and the one at the Smile IT for that matter. But not used to the ball bobbling about a bit. Forward by Steph Giorgio for Jack Dreyer. Finds John Clements, fires in the shot, far side. Joe Demon's going to try and keep it in, but Kavanagh will let it run across for a goal kick to Aylesbury, and a chance for me to give you the Ware lineup. Fred Burbidge in goal. Steph Giorgio and Ben Siggers, the two fullbacks. Lewis Rose, so brilliant to see him back alongside Echo Coker in the centre of the defence. Alex Warman and Freddie Moncur, the midfield shields. Jack Dreyer playing in the hole behind a front three of Theo Afori, John Clements and Joe Dearman. And on the subs bench, Richard Enning, Kieran Bishop, George Ironton, David Sota and Gab Chaps. Long ball hoisted forward onto the head of Echo Coker. Giorgio heads it up rather than clear, and Ken Fahey wrestling a little bit with Alex Warman, lets the ball go out of play for a throw-in on this near side, which will be taken by the number 3, Jake Bewley. Bewley looking for a little bit of movement. It's Tom Cove who provides it, the number 8. Back to Bewley, gets to the cross. Alex Warman just about cuts out the cross and does well to stop it going over for a goal kick, and in the end gets a deflection of Ken Fahey, which takes it out for a throw-in on this near side. So the home side, Aylesbury, with James Callan in goal, Max Kavanagh, Jake Bewley, Jack Wood, Derek Fahey, David Lynn, Hayden Beadle, Tom Cole, Ken Fahey, David Pearce and Quai Marsh Brown. On the subs bench for them, Ben Peters, Charlie Tuttle, Liridan Daka, Josh Guthrie and Ayman Dadu. So that's our lineups as Echo Coker picks the ball up on the halfway line for Balls's team. Again, patient build-up brings in Ben Siggers, who plays it back to Echo just inside his own half. On the side again for Ben Siggers, who lets the ball drift over his foot and go out for a throw-in rather tamely for Aylesbury on that far side. The half-time scores 0-0 here. Hartford having a mare at the New Erie, 4-0 down. Welling Garden City 1 up at Stopfold. Long kick forward. Ben Siggers will get there first. Tried to turn away from Marsh Brown, and then the end just puts the ball out for a throw-in. The ball back that Fred Burbidge was on there, but he didn't choose it. Ball goes back to Kavanagh. Kavanagh down the line for Marsh Brown. Max Kavanagh continued the run, shrugs aside Joe Dearman. Kavanagh looking to get the ball across the box. Echo Coker's over, and Aylesbury in the early stages of the second half win their 7th corner of the match. So we've taken on that far side of the field by the number 10, David Pearce. He made 268 appearances for Chesham United here, so he must know this ground pretty well. Going to take the corner with the left boot, jostling inside the box again. His ball comes across. Echo Coker's missed it. The ball bounces down. Ken Fahey can't get a boot to it, and Fred Burbidge grabs it gratefully inside the 6-yard box. Long one clearance, looking for Joe Dearman. Dearman's there with Beadle at his back. Joe manages to get the deflection on the ball as Jack Dreyer's ball looks for John Clements, and it's then booted back inside the Ware half. But certainly nobody for a moment knew where that ball was. A couple of Ware boys go past, just maybe passing some sort of comment on Hartford being 4-0 down at Bedford at half-time, don't know.
Yeah, they've obviously seen the results and rather happy with that. I mean, I said to you earlier, Pete, today would be one of the days that Ware fans would be wanting Hartford to do them a favour, but by their reaction, I don't think they did.
No, I don't think they did at all. And the ball's been given away by Giorgio here for Tom Gove to come down this left-hand side. Gove still going, out comes Fred Burbidge. Lewis Rose did a good job of just policing Cove away from the ball as Joe Dearman picks it up inside the Ware half and sends Ben Siggers running. Ben's ball looking for John Clements. Clemo's got a run in the area here. John Clements fires it into the side netting. And probably one of the best opportunities Ware have had so far.
Yeah, definitely. I think it was. He's latched onto that ball rather quickly, and he's made good space, and found the short, and unfortunately, it's just inside netting.
Well, they've found their voices, haven't they? If you can hear them, that's the Ware choir away to our right-hand side. They'll be hoping for some more attacking intent from their team in the second half. Still 0-0. Ware 4 points away from a place in the playoffs for the third time in as many seasons. Ball with Ben Siggers brings in Alex Warman. Alex on this near side for Steph Giorgio, who's had a tough time so far against Tom Cove. Ball finds its way on this near side. Theo Ofori trying to get round Jake Bewley, can't do so. Ball goes out for a throw-in to Aylesbury United. Ball back from Beadle, forward by Bewley, but rather more in a hope than anything else. Ball lands with Fred Burbage on the edge of his area, who bowls it out to Echo Coker. 11 clean sheets so far this season for Ware. A lot of those have come recently, certainly this year, because they've tightened up a lot of defence that conceded 4 at Waltham Abbey, we remember, 4 at Biggleswade as well, 7 at Bedford, of course. Different Ware these days, though, as Freddie Moncur gets the ball back midway inside the Aylesbury half. Freddie again trades paces with Ben Siggers, looks to bring in John Clements, gets the ball back again. It's Echo Coker. Ware start to camp in Aylesbury territory. Coker moves forward, looks for Joe Dearman, left-hand side. Joe tries to get the ball across the box, bounces off of Marsh Brown, goes out for a throw-in. Taken quickly by Ben Siggers for Echo Coker. Echo looking for some movement again. Has to go backwards to Freddie Moncur and then all the way back to Lewis Rose on the halfway line. Here's Alex Warman inside the centre circle, where perhaps looking to the right-hand side where Theo Ofori is. Alex coming forward from Jack Dreyer, who does find Theo Ofori nicely down this right-hand side. Theo trying to run inside Bewley. Cole gets a boot in, but Theo will get the ball back. Still Theo Ofori down by the corner flag for Ware, brings in Alex Warman. Alex's ball across the box, looking for Jack Dreyer, headed out by Kavanagh. Jack will collect it, leave it for Joe Dearman. In fact, Joe back for Ben Siggers. Good bit of concerted pressure by Ware, first time since the opening minutes of the match. Ball on this near side for Steph Giorgio. Perhaps this is the second half Ware that we've seen so often. Steph's ball forward, looking for Jack Dreyer, but sorted out by Jack Wood on the edge of the Aylesbury area. Will land on the halfway line with Ken Fay. Tries to shrug aside Alex Warman, but terrier-like Alex manages to win the ball back. But in the end, it's Bewley who puts the ball up onto the head of Wood. Kai Marsh-Brown heads it back inside the Ware half, but Fred Burbage will come out and collect unchallenged. Come on, Ware boys, say the supporters away to our right-hand side as Echo Coker brings it across the halfway line to bring in Ben Siggers forward for Joe Dearman. Joe's ball, edge of the area for John Clements, tries to give it to him back, but rather panicky clearance from Guy Marsh-Brown, who bangs it against an advertising hoarding and away for a throw-in to Ware. No Mitch Hahn this afternoon, so no long throw threat. Taken short by Siggers to John Clements. Down by the corner flag, as Ben Siggers again gets pulled across the box, headed on by Jack Dreyer. Couldn't really get any direction to it. And in the end, it's cleared by Bewley on the far post to the halfway line. But Ken Fay, a lovely back heel for Tom Cole. They could be coming forward. Here is Ken Fay in the area, and Fred Burbage comes out to deny him, not for the first time, and the ball bounces off for the striker again and goes behind for a goal kick, and chances at either end.
Yeah, chances there for both teams, and and Fred is not happy with the space that he was given there, and another great save from Fred, and it's another dangerous break for Aylesbury down their left hand side.
Ken Fahey then has had the chances, got 7 goals this season, but not been able to add to them so far. John Clements picks the ball up, then loses his footing and lets Wood pick his pocket. Jack Wood coming forward, shows too much of it to Alex Warman, and Echo Coker digs the ball out and starts coming forward midway inside the Aylesbury half. Still Echo Coker lifted across, looks for Joe Dearman, but out comes Callan and dives rather spectacularly on the edge of his 6-yard box. Pick the ball up. Game's picking up a bit of momentum. That will suit Ware. Too pedestrian in the first half it was. James Callan with the ball down inside his own penalty area. 90 Minutes Live in association with Easy Shelf Direct, game number 34 of the season for us. 118 goals we've seen so far. Don't want to put the mockers on this one, but we've only seen 2 0-0s in that time. Got one at the moment though. James Callan looking right-footed downfield. Echo Goga will just duck and let Fred Burbage come out and collect it on the edge of his 18-yard area. Fred rolls the ball down and with that trusty left foot thumps it forward. Jack Dreyer's in advanced position, does well to win the ball, deflects it though and can only deflect it out for a throw-in on this near side of the field, which will be taken by Jake Bewley. For Aylesbury, clean sheet last time out against Kempston. So far have held Ware at bay and very few opportunities really as Joe Damon picks the ball up inside the centre circle. Looks for Jack Dreyer who was being held. Referee lets game go on as Freddie Moncur picks it up. Brings in John Clements. He's got Ben Siggers wide on that left-hand side midway inside the Aylesbury half. Brings in Joe Dearman. Ben Siggers gets it back on the halfway line with Echo Coker. Finds Ben Siggers again. Patient build-up from Ware. Long ball forward, up in the air by Jack Wood. Will bounce on the edge of the area where Freddie Moncur will collect it for Ware. Bring in Alex Warman near side to Steph Giorgio. Drifts inside and then tries to find Freddie Moncur. All goes wrong though, and Bewley will put it all the way back to the goalkeeper Callan. Long kick forward onto the head of Lewis Rose. Ben Siggers will react first and they head it back to Echo Coker. Midway inside his own half. Substitutes, well, there are options on the bench for Ware should they want to use them. A goal here would be very handy. I don't think there's going to be too many in this game. Steph Giorgio for Alex Warman, who looks to release Theo Ofori down the right-hand side. That doesn't go well, and Joe O'Brien's out and trotting down the touchline. And, well, seems to be a similar pattern to the first half, and it'll be interesting to see how long they leave it before making a change.
Yeah, I mean, as you said, you know, a couple of chances early on in the second half, but pace seems to be slowing down again. And as you say, Joe and Paul, they're both out of the dugouts. They're shouting their instructions and giving their views to the players. And obviously, as you say, there's no subs out warming up at the moment. But I do wonder the longer the game stays like this, how long it will take Paul and Joe to make a substitution.
Nice footwork by Brayden Bagel on the far side. Marsh Brown can't pick the ball up. And that was good from a Ware perspective, otherwise he could have been in an interesting position. Ball picked up again by David Lynn, tries to put the ball on this near side, looking for Cove, but it's going to run out of play before Bewley can try and keep it in play. And the ball will go for a goal kick to Ware. AFC Dunstable at home next week. And then a trip to Biggleswade Town to wrap up the regular part of the season, as the Americans call it, on the 27th of April, and then hopefully, fingers crossed, be into the playoffs. Long kick forward, looking for Clements. Jack Dreyer just beaten to it by Derek Fahey. Coker's got to watch this. Ken Fahey's alert to it, and Fred Burbage has to come to the edge of his area where the referee just spots the fact that Ken Fahey had given Fred Burbage a little bit of a shove, trying to make him carry the ball outside the area, and free kick taken, and Alex Warman in his usual neat fashion will bring the ball forward for Ware. Finds Echo Coker on the halfway line. Clements has come short again, so Echo Coker continues his run. Plays the ball left-hand side. Flag goes up on this near side to suggest the fact that Joe Dearman was offside, and the ball will go out for a goal kick. quite sure. I think they said I Maximus has won the Grand National. Flashed up on my phone, but if you backed it, well done. I didn't, but you never know. Never know what finished second, third, and fourth. Might get some money back. I always call it go down to Ware Ladbrokes, and it's a donation to the Ladbrokes Ware Benevolent Fund, as I call it. But there you go. Have occasionally one. Long kick forward by Callan. Echo Coker is there with Kai Marsh-Brown. Little large, most definitely on that far side. Ball runs out for a throw in, which Ben Siggers will take for Ware. Ben's throw towards the halfway line. Gavner's in the way. Alex Woolman picks up the scraps, as he's wont to do. Again forward, but this time out of play. It's been rather an untidy start to the second half, which has already eluded 16 minutes by here in brilliant sunshine in Buckinghamshire. As the ball back with Ben Siggers forward for Freddie Moncur. Forward again, looking for Joe Dearman. Dearman goes down under challenge from Jack Wood, and it's the Aylesbury skipper who wins the decision. Long kick forwards, and as Ken Fahey protested innocence, he was at least 3 or 4 yards offside. And still one of those, he still trains that rule to me. The referee's assistant had to wait for the ball to land, whereas, as soon as that ball was kicked, we knew he was offside. But there you go. Fred Burbage will take the kick for Lewis Rose. On this near side will bring in Steph Giorgio. Steph Giorgio forward, looking for Jack Dreyer. Jack managed to get the ball under control and send Theo Forey scurrying down the right-hand side. Bewley's favourite. In the end, he hits the ball off of Theo. And it'll go out for a throw-in to Aylesbury United, who started off today in 16th place. The fact that Kempston are behind is good from their point of view. Kidlington and Tame, of course. Well, Kidlington and Tame were both level at the break, so still some nerves. If Aylesbury look to maintain their step 4 status, as here comes Ken Fahey, the dangerous Ken Fahey, but Lewis Rose sticks to his job well and just sticks out a boot and wins it. But in the end, it takes an outstretched limb from Echo Coker to put it all the way back to Fred Burbage. Ball breaks on that far side to Kavanagh, and the ball will go out off Joe Dearman for a throw into Aylesbury. Too similar to the first half for me so far, where I haven't quite woken up yet. On that far side of the field, the ball's in their area with Kai Marsh-Brown. The shot fired in, and this time over the top of the crossbar from Hayden Beadle. And behind for a goal kick to Ware. So no substitutes will be on. In fact, there is substitution about to be made at the moment. Joe Dearman's about to come off. It's very difficult to see what's going on in those dugouts, and Kieran Bishop's going to come on. So not been Joe's best day. I think he's been well looked after by Max Kavanagh on that far side.
Yeah, he's not really had too much of an effect, has he? I mean, we know how dangerous Joe can be, and he's really not just been able to sort of create any danger for Ware. So hopefully this change will do so. And as you say, with the way the dugouts are, normally we can see when someone's getting stripped off and getting ready. And, unfortunately, we don't have that opportunity today.
Well, Kieran Bishop's out there. He's gone wide right. Theo Forey's gone across to the left-hand side with John Clements through the middle. So Max Kavanagh's got something else to deal with in Theo Forey at the moment. Lewis Rose's chip ball forward is going to be easy for Kavanagh, though, with nobody there with him. But Freddie Moncur does a good job of snaffling the ball back for Ware. Here is Theo Forey inside, looking for Jack Dreyer. Out comes the goalkeeper, Gallen. Jack goes down under challenge. Referee gives a free kick the other way, and Jack's going to get a booking. Well, it's a long way away from here to see. But the referee gives Ware's number 10 a yellow card.
Yeah, well, I mean, the referee was in a good position to be able to judge from there. And as you say, it's a little bit difficult for us to see from this situation, from this far away. But we'll give the referee's had a good game so far. Obviously, we've not had any need to mention him. So obviously we'll take his word for it.
Yep, his free kick's going to be taken by James Callan. Goal away to our right-hand side. It's a little bit of a sign, perhaps, what Theo Ofori offers down that side, as John Clement will go up with Bewley. Ball with Lewis Rose, heads it into Aylesbury territory. Kavanagh's ball goes straight to Ben Siggers, who's there with Kai Marsh-Brown. Ball goes out for a throw-in for Ware. Alex Warman back on the halfway line to Ben Siggers back inside his own half to Agogoka. Almost half of the second half gone here. Still we stand at 0-0 as Steph Giorgio turns inside Tom Cove. Does well to do so. One of those right to left runs. Steph's still going. He's got Theo Ofori outside him, left hand side. Here is Theo. First run against Kavanagh. Theo turns inside, outside. Theo still going. Theo balls it across, and at the near post it's Callan who saves it. With players in the area, John Clements being one of them, saying, "Why didn't you put it across?"
Yeah, I mean, you can see the frustration there, can't you, of coming from Clemo. But, a dangerous run there from Theo, and hopefully it can be a little bit more effective on that left-hand side.
More effective from Ware. Kieran Bishop still waiting for his first touch on this right-hand side. But, ball pushed forward to Max Kavanagh. Kavanagh's ball, but will find Beadle in an offside position. Not quite the threat in this second half of Aylesbury been. He's got a feeling whether it might be Kieran Bishop coming down this side as well to block off those runs by Tom Cole, but long ball by Alex Warman has not got the right radar on it. Goes all the way through to the goalkeeper Callan. Got a game on Wednesday of Aylesbury away to Biggleswade, and then featuring another one of our teams next week. They'll be at the Pexhurst when taking on Welwyn Garden City. Mark Weatherstone's team, hopefully by then, will be looking to book a place in the playoffs. 1-0 up they were. Half-time at Stockfold, as we know. Hospitable but not easy place to go and get points, as we found earlier on in the season. As Steph Giorgio plays the ball all the way back to the goalkeeper, Fred Burbidge. Fred for Agogoka. Echo plays the ball to Alex Warman. Alex on the halfway line, square ball for Lewis Rose. Kieran Bishop still waiting for his first touch. Steph Giorgio doesn't provide it either. He just gives the ball away as Ken Fahey puts it down the line. Lewis Rose does well to react, and Jack Dreher's got plenty of space to move into for Ware. Finds Steph Giorgio right hand side, tries to put the ball down the line, but it all goes wrong. And ball goes out of play for a throw in, and he's having a poor afternoon, Steph Giorgio. Just as poor as I've seen him, I think.
Yeah, he's not having a great game either, is he? And he's found trouble. He's been found exposed at times, and it's not the best afternoon for him to be having an off day. But I guess it happens to everyone at some point. Rather it now than being something at a critical stage of the season. Well,
he did well to win the ball there. Finds Freddie Moncur, and Theo's trying to run outside Kavanagh, but he's done a good job all afternoon. He's been solid as a rock, Max Kavanagh. He's only 19. He's on loan from Wickham. He was born in the United States and played college football there, rather like our friend Alex Harris at Welwyn Garden City, and he's looked a decent fullback. Aylesbury's number 2. Was Alex Warman, Agogoka for Freddie Moncur. Freddie's ball forward. Jack Dreher's beaten to it by Jack Wood. Pierce slows it down a little bit. Forward by David Lynn. Fred Burbidge, excellent starting positions. Volleys it towards the halfway line. And so it's going to be Beadle who reacts first. Brings in Tom Cole on this near side. Cole down the line. Looking for Aidan Beadle, but Steph Giorgio does get there first this time. Only at the expense of a throw-in, which is taken down the line by Jake Bewley. Cole will try and put it across, can't control it, and the ball goes behind for a goal kick to Ware. 20 minutes left here at the Meadow. And we still stand on 90 Minutes Live in association with eShelf Direct in our penultimate away game in the regular season of Aylesbury United 0, Ware 0. We'll be following Ware this time next week. We'll be at Watson Park for a real blockbuster of a game between Ware and AFC Dunstable, two teams who were second and third this morning. May not stay there with all that was happening around them in the league. Bedford and Waltham Abbey were both up at half-time. But Jack Dreyer shrugged aside by Pearce, who finds Ken Fahey, who does control it in the end, then gives it away to Jack Dreyer. Kavanagh's quick to react and finds Marsh Brown on that far side. Kavanagh's continued the run. Marsh Brown tries to get in front of Ben Siggers, but haven't you said Kavanagh's had a good game? So has Ben Siggers, and curse to the commentator there as he gives the ball away. But Marsh Brown's not got a lot of change out Ben Siggers this afternoon.
No, he's not. I think Ben's had a really good game, hasn't he? You know, he's kept things tight. As you say, you know, that side, he's controlled that side well, and he's not really let anyone create anything, you know, worthwhile from there.
Here's Jake Bewley coming forward towards the halfway line for Aylesbury, brings in Ken Fahey, wrestles with Lewis Rose, and then Bewley further forward, straight into the arms of Fred Burbidge. Well, if it does come to a late show, we know what Ware are capable of. 18 scored and 10 conceded in the last 10 minutes this season. Aylesbury scored 12, conceded 14. So both sides are keen to goals coming in the last 10 minutes of matches as Kavanagh wins the ball away from John Clements. The ball will bounce with Ben Siggers inside the Ware half. The heads of Rawsey and Joe O'Brien pop up in front of the Ware dugout. David Tutton must sit down all the time. I haven't seen anybody from Aylesbury outside their dugout. Maybe he's happy with the way things are going. Echo Goga on the halfway line for Ware in their orange strip. Plays the ball forward for Theo Afori, who then just gives it away, but Beadle thumps it harmlessly straight into the Ware half, where Fred Burbidge will collect it. Aylesbury have put players further back in this second period, no doubt about it. They've asked Ware to ask a few questions, and at the moment there haven't been too many. Forward by Alex Ward for Jack Dreyer, who puts the ball out of play, and the ball will go out for a throw in. Kevin Gomes out, and I think the board's going to come out as well, and it's going to be Freddie Moncur who's going to go off, and Richard Ennin who is going to come on, so that is an attacking change. It'll be interesting to see how that affects things. But Freddie, who's gone off. Jack Dreyer will pull a little bit further back alongside Alex Warman, you would guess, but interesting to see Richard Ennie. I think he's going to play in that hole, and he's going to play in that area where he played against Stotfold and won our man of the match.
Yeah, it does look like that, doesn't it? That looks like where he's starting himself off, and you know, hopefully he'll have a similar sort of effect.
Lewis Rose forward. The ball will land with good head on by Alex Warman, and then another thump forward by Derek Fahey towards his brother. Lewis Rose, who's not missed a lot in the air, has not missed too much on the ground either. Gets a boot in there, and Kieran Bishop will thump it forward towards John Clements, who then looks for Theo Afori on the far side, having been absolutely flattened by Derek Fahey. The Ware bench not happy with that at all, and there's going to be a card which is going to come out for the big number 5. But, I said you didn't want to run into Derek Fahey, and certainly Clemo didn't want to on that occasion, I don't think.
I don't think he did. I mean, Clemo's not exactly a small fellow either, is he? But you know, he's definitely come off worse than that one.
Well, Big Derek's going to get a yellow card. And Ware got a free kick, which Alex Warman will take. Just a little bit of shy of midway inside the Aylesbury United half, inside right position. Where I've got a chance to push Echo Coker and Lewis Rose forward as they search for what could be a vital goal in their quest for promotion from Step 4. Twice the bridesmaid in the playoff final. Hoping he's going to be third year lucky. Alex with the free kick then. Everybody on the edge of the area fires it far side, and Kavanagh meets it. Deals with it easily. Back in by Ben Siggers. On by Echo Coker. Good break on the edge of the area, but up in the air by Bewley. Kieran Bishop brings it back down to earth and finds Theo Ofori on the far side. Kieran's continued to run down that left-hand side. Kieran Bishop looking to drift inside. I'm going to go back to Echo Gogo. We're still inside the Aylesbury half and coming forward. Echo puts his foot on the ball. Far side of the field brings in Ben Siggers. Long cross from Ben. Lewis Rose is up there. Derek Fay deals with it. Kieran Bishop's control on the edge of the area lets him down, but Ben Siggers will keep it in Aylesbury territory until it's volleyed clear by Pearce. And then the highest one of the afternoon from Steph Giorgio is going to take it way over that far side and almost on the top of the gym building, which is behind the low stand on the far side.
Yeah, I mean that's gone right out, hasn't it? I mean, as I say, I mean that's it's a double-storey building and almost landed on top of it.
Change for Aylesbury. Amen Dardu is going to come on, and Kai Marsh Brown is going to go off on that far side of the field. He claps the Aylesbury fans on that far side as he makes his way out, and the number 17 will come on for Aylesbury United. So both managers making changes, trying to get something out of this. They've only got 14 minutes plus time added on. Well, we're in for our third 0-0 of the season there on 90 Minutes Live. Kieran Bishop does well to win the ball. Midway inside his own half, near side. The ball finds on this near side for Steph Giorgio, but it's hit too far and Bewley will get there first. But good work by Alex Warman, who thumps into a challenge with Jake Bewley. Ball goes out, lands on the top of the dugouts and will be a throw-in to Aylesbury United, but a very experienced left-back Jake Bewley will take. 32 now, been here for a long time, 350 plus appearances. Lewis Rose has let the ball go to Fay, but his shot is weak. Blocked by Alex Warman, bowls it out to Theo Ofori midway inside his own half. Turns away from one green shirt on this near side, then gives the ball away to Bewley, who finds Ken Fay. Ken Fay's ball on this near side, looking for Tom Cole, but once again Fred Burbage, whose starting position, or if you say it every week, has been excellent for those kind of balls, just comes out and collects it calm as you like. And certainly in my view, and I think in yours as well, Simon, best keeper in the division. Yeah, without a doubt. I think he's absolutely fantastic. As you say, he knows exactly where to be and exactly the right time. And if there is a better goalkeeper in the league, then I've not seen him, that's for sure. As John Clement's frustration continues, as referee's assistant gives a free kick against him for thumping into Tom Cole. So it'll be a free kick to Aylesbury. 33 minutes, second half gone, 90 Minutes Live in association with Easy Shelf Direct. 2 matches on the Saturday left for us this season. And at the moment, we're still waiting for the first goal. Ware started in second position on 58 points. If were to remain the same, they would stay on 59. And I make it they'd be a win away from nailing a playoff position, and not easy because AFC Dunstable and Biggleswade Town, 2 of the top 5 yet to meet in the most difficult running of anybody towards the end of the season, as Ken Fay gets his head to the ball, but it goes behind for a goal kick to Ware. Now's the time for them to continue that record that has seen so many last-minute goals. Having said that, it was a last-minute goal by Aylesbury, of course, that undid them at Watson Park. Aylesbury United, one of only 3 teams to win there this season in the league. And they won back in November when Justin Dass's goal 4 minutes into injury time did the job. Long ball forward, Kieran Bishop's on his bike. Cullen's come out of his goal and can just chip it out midway inside his own half for a throw-in. We're beaten on that occasion 3-2. Northley and Biggleswade Town, the only other 2 teams to win at Watson Park this season in the league. Ball's back with James Callum. We've got 2 balls on the pitch actually at the moment. There's one down there. I don't quite know where that one's come from. But Lewis Rose will obligingly put it out of play. And on the edge of the area, it's Callum who's going to pick the ball up and restart the game for Aylesbury United. For them, a point would take them on the 39, which would give them 10 points away from bottom place Kempston, still with a game in hand. So as the ball breaks on this side for Tom Cole, Giorgio has to get a boot in, and Aylesbury have got their 8th corner out of nothing. So, corner to be taken on this near side of the field. It's going to be David Pearce who's going to trot across to take it. Where I've got Theo Afori forward. Kieran Bishop saying, shall I go forward? And the bench is saying yes. So not too many. Aylesbury got plenty of players back, but Pearce's corner is going to come over with the left foot. Up goes Fred Burbage, manages to get a boot to it, and it's cleared. A hand to it rather, cleared by Lewis Rose, still on the edge of the area. Ken Fahey sells the dummy, puts the ball across the box to this near side, back by Pearce. Cole straight to Alex Warman. And Richard Ennin should bring it away for Ware, well he would have done had he not been fouled by Tom Cole. Richard takes a bit of a tumble. He's going to get himself back up again, and Ware will have a free kick midway inside their own half. And we are entering the last 10 minutes. And Ware have been so profitable this season. They've scored 18 goals in the last 10 minutes of games. Oh, well, they could do with number 19 here. Richard Ennin plays the ball forward, looking for Kieran Bishop, but it goes all the way through to the goalkeeper, James Callan, who will collect it once more. Good crowd, a lot of kids in the house. Shame we haven't had a better game, really. It's not been the greatest of spectacles, but maybe, because there's so much resting on it for both teams. You might expect that as Callan restarts. Long kick forward. Lewis Rose meets it with his head. Pearce will bring Dahu on that far side against Ben Siggers. Gets ball across the box, but straight into the arms of Fred Burbage. Fred bowls it out to Echo Goga. Echo coming forward onto the halfway line for Richard Ennin, who chips the ball back and forces Echo to turn back inside his own half and collect it again. Walking football once more from Ware. Jack Dreyer to Echo Coker. 5 in the trot they've won before this. This ball goes all the way back to the goalkeeper, Fred Burbage. Fred looks for some movement up front, bowls it forward a couple of times with his foot. Goes now with the left boot. Long one forward, looking for Kieran Bishop, and John Clements beaten to it by Derek Fahey. And Pearce has got a bit of space here. Puts the ball forward on this near side for Ken Fahey, but Lewis Rose does the usual dependable job and thumps it out for a throw-in to Aylesbury United. Taken by Tom Cole. Cole collects it again. He's got Jack Dreyer there, gives the ball away, but only at the expense once again as a throw into Aylesbury. We're deep in Ware territory. We could do with the ball being at the other end. It's going to be Jake Bewley who's going to, in fact, leave the ball on this near side for David Lynn, the number 6, to take the throw in for Aylesbury. It's got a reasonable throw and the considerable figure of Derek Fahey has come up from the back. There's a throw about to be taken on this near side by Bewley, who lands inside the area. It's still there, and Ben Siggers does a good job before he's pulled down by Ken Fahey for a free kick, and Ware will have a chance to clear their lines. So we've got 6 minutes left. Simon, the man of the match choice, is very much up for grabs, so start thinking about that one as Steph Giorgio pushes it forward. Someone, of course, hopefully will be a hero in this next 6 minutes is John Clements down the line for Kieran Bishop. I've really seen a great deal of him since he's come on. Kieran's got 2 green shirts in front of him. Turns it inside for Steph Giorgio. Turns inside again. The ball for John Clements in the area. Here's Clemo, fires it across, and on the goal line. The ball could have been turned in by Richard Ennin, and it was Kavanagh who got there and thumped it behind from right on the goal line.
Yeah, I mean, that was a great chance. Lovely cross there from Clemo. He's seen, the people, gathering in the box, and Richard Ennin, Oh, I mean, that could have been so close. He was so close to getting a little touch on that, and I think all it would have taken was that to knock into the net.
Corner taken quickly. Richard Enning's got it edge of the box, puts it at the far post over Alex Warman, who has to turn back, try and keep the ball in. He does. It's got to be said, Max Kavanagh has had one heck of a game for Aylesbury. He's the one that cleared the ball off the line. Wood has picked the pocket of Alex Warman, who gets back in contention anyway, and Beadle will pick it up for Aylesbury United. How close did Richard Enning come to giving Ware a lead as Bewley picks the ball up, plays the ball on this near side, looking for Cole. Out comes Fred Burbage yet again. Excellent stuff from the keeper. Long ball forward, looking for Theo O'Forey, but it's Jack Dreyer who really at quickest. Grabbed the ball. Ware looking for a grandstand finish here. Steph Giorgio coming forward. John Clements pointing for where he wants the ball, but Giorgio's given it away to Bewley. Back come Aylesbury United with Beadle. Beadle's long ball on that far side. Ben Siggers is in the way, and Richard Enning will pick it up for Ware and start coming in the opposite direction. Ball off the outside of his boot, but Cullen's there before John Clements can collect it. And the chance goes begging. 4 minutes to go, plus time added on for stoppages here at the Meadow. Aylesbury United 0, Ware 0. As Cullen is taking the ball across his area, taking up a little bit of time as the goalkeeper all in bright pink. Long kick forward, that'll be one bounce and straight to Fred Burbage, who collects it gratefully on the edge of his 6-yard box. So Ware again looking to build something here. Theo O'Forey going through the middle there with Richard Enning playing wide on that left-hand side. Steph Giorgio forward looking for Theo O'Forey. He's given it away. Kieran Bishop's challenge. The ball lands with Lewis Rose. David Pearce will let it run for Beadle. His ball on the far side once again. And not for the first time this afternoon. Ben Siggers is in the way as Echo Coker gives Fred Burbage a lot to do with a back pass. And Fred looking daggers back at Echo as to volley it behind for a corner to Aylesbury.
Yeah, I mean, that was a ridiculous. I don't know what Echo thought he was doing there at all. Absolutely ridiculous idea to try and knock it back. I mean, with that much power as well. And, Fred, he's had to backpedal and, he put it behind for a corner. But he was absolutely furious there with Echo, and rightly so.
9th corner of the afternoon for Aylesbury United to be taken by David Pearce on this near side. We are in the 42nd minute of the second half here at the Meadow. David Pearce with one arm up in the air again. It's put a late run on the back, and it's Derek Fahey who heads the ball over the top of the crossbar and into the fans behind the goal. So another chance goes begging for Aylesbury United. They've had their chances, but in the second half, so have Ware. None more so than the one from Richard Enning, which Max Kavanagh clawed somehow off the goal line. Fred Burbage called away to our left-hand side. Long kick forward. Up goes Kieran Bishop, brings in Theo O'Forey. Here's John Clements taking it on. Clements dragged down from behind, and just a little bit of afters coming on there as players get involved. It was David Lynn's challenge, and could do without players getting involved here. You don't want anybody to get suspended with these games coming up. It was David Lynn's challenge on John Clements. A little bit of frustration from Clemo, and Echo Coker's doing a very good job as the biggest man on the pitch in terms of height with playing peacemaker. I think he's done a good job there.
Yeah, I think he has. Obviously, it takes a calm head sometimes to sort things out and just tell the other players to calm down. And as you say, the last thing you need at this stage is any suspensions. So sensible work there from Echo.
Well, it should be a yellow card to David Lynn, I think. But I don't know what else the referee feels, but he's having a word with John Clements at the moment. In fact, he's having a word with the pair of them. Ware have got a free kick. It's in a good position. About 40 yards out. And, in the end, doesn't show a yellow card to either. Central position about 40 yards out, this one. Ben Siggers is there, so's Alex Warman, and we are in the last minute of regular time here at the Meadow. Well, And 4 minutes to be added on. 4 minutes to be added on. Aylesbury scored a last-minute one at Wadston Park in November. Can Ware repeat the exercise at the Meadow in April? Alex Warman has got the ball. Referee still waiting to arrange things. Lewis Rose and Echo Goga are up from the back. Referee just having a little bit of word with Alex where the ball's being positioned. But Alex Warman then. Aylesbury have pulled everybody back in on around that 18-yard area. Referee retreats. What can Ware do here? Late runs expected from Echo Goga and Lewis Rose. Kieran Bishop's got a bit of height in there as well. Here's Alex Warman, chips it in. Here comes Echo Goga, but that's a good header out by Gavner again as Theo Afori picks it up and the ball's cleared for a throw-in. But certainly if I had a bigger man of the match out there without a biased head-on, which I've got, Max Kavanagh will win out. I think he's had an absolutely super game, the right back.
Yeah, I mean, he's played fantastic, hasn't he? You know, he's done really well, and you know, he's really impressed, and you know, obviously, you know, helped keep the ball out of the
throw in from Kieran Bishop and up in the air, and who else again? But Kavanagh, who manages to get it clear. Ben Siggers back towards the Aylesbury half, and in the end, Lewis Rose goes down, volleys the ball, and it goes behind for a goal kick, which Callum will take. We've had 1.5 minutes added on at the end of a game here. It's been scrappy at best, it's got to be said. It's not been a brilliant spectacle for Aylesbury United's community day. But all power to them for the hard work they've put in with all sorts of paper aeroplane, crossbar challenges, things to eat, and done well for their club, considering, of course, it's their adopted home as well. As on this near side of the field, Steph Giorgio's got some work to do as Tom Goals tries to keep the ball in but can't, and the ball will go out for a goal kick to Ware. Fred Burbage will prepare to take it. It's now or never as far as Ware are concerned. It'll be interesting to get the thoughts of Paul Halsey afterwards, whether he's happy with a point. I don't think he's ever happy with a point. But a long ball forward by Steph Giorgio, and Jack Wood just thumps it inside the Ware half, and Ken Fahey, who's chased everything this afternoon, even realised the futility of chasing that one. Fred Burbage will come out. We'll ask for man of the match at full time, Simon, just in case we get a last minute hero here. Jack Dreyer goes up, wins the ball well, on by Clements, back out by Jack Wood. Echo Goga collects it on his chest and starts coming forward for Ware. Here's Kieran Bishop. Bewley read his intention well. And here's Fahey, puts it in, and down this near side as Coles latches onto it. Who else but Fred Burbage is out. Kavanagh puts the ball back forward, but Fred Burbage, who's been superb in collecting those long balls through, comes out and collects another one for Ware. Looks up. It's going to be the Hail Mary, surely. Long one forward. Looking for Clements, who goes up, nips it off the head of Derek Fahey. Here's Richard Ennin inside the box, left-hand side. Turning left, turning right. It's got Kavanagh there. Richard Ennin onto the left foot. Kavanagh's still there. Richard Ennin goes. Kavanagh goes down, and in the end, the ball is cleared on that far side, only as far as Ben Siggers managed to get the ball across the box. Here's Kieran Bishop, fires the ball in, bounces off a Aylesbury boot. And in the end, it's thumped to midway inside the Aylesbury half, where Ken Fahey will be there with Echo Goga, who does well to win the ball and put it all the way back to his goalkeeper, Fred Burbage. Well, that's it. Time up. The 4 has been played as the referee looks at his watch. And Fred Burbage, long kick forward, looking for John Clements. They'll all let it bounce. Out comes Callan, collects the ball, and I think that may well be it. 0-0. Going to be our third 0-0 of the season on 90 Minutes Live, I think, unless as Lewis Rose heads the ball out of play, and it's out on this near side of the field for a throw-in to Aylesbury United. Tom Golds has worked as hard as anybody, the Aylesbury number 8. He's got the ball on this near side of the field. Aylesbury are taking their time about it, approaching the 5th minute of time added on. Someone said they want to get back for come dancing. There's a blast from the past as Steph Giorgio tries to wrestle it away from Ken Fahey on this near side. Alex Woolman's there as well, and Alex just thumps it off of Jake Bewley and away for a throw in, and that's going to be the end of the action here. No 6 win in a row for Ware, but it is their 12th clean sheet of the season. They've had their chance. Richard Ennings, one which was scooped off the line by Gaviner, the best of the lot, and at the other end Fred Burbage pulls off some excellent saves, mainly from Ken Fahey, who could have had a couple for Aylesbury United. But Aylesbury's community day here, and Ware's penultimate away trip of the regular season ends goalless. Aylesbury United 0, Ware 0.
Yeah, I mean, I think disappointment for Ware in the end. They'd have been hoping to to take all 3 points here this afternoon, but didn't really create the chances, didn't really have the opportunities. Aylesbury dealt with it all well. They sort of strangled Ware out of the game there, and as you say, a clean sheet, those so positives for Paul to take. But while we're going through that, obviously, so we need to do the man of the match vote. I'm really tight between 2 players. One other player I will mention though, Lewis Rose, after all he's been through, he came back, last week, made a substitute appearance, he's played this afternoon, he's played 100 minutes here this afternoon. What an absolute hero. I mean, do you know what, I'm giving my man of the match to Lewis Rose.
Yeah, and why not?
Absolutely
superb. I've been there a little bit, and I know what Lewis went through over those 6 months, and to come out and play 95 minutes and also to play as well as he did this afternoon, a superb performance. Thoughts in Ben Siggers and Fred Burbage, I thought, had excellent games for Ware as well. But
I mean, that was who I was debating between, but I think Lewis had a great game. Obviously, like I said, Ware kept a clean sheet, but for everything he's been through, and to come back and play 95 minutes and be as solid as he was, man of the match performance from the skipper.
Excellent, well done, skipper. Well, Ware move on to 34 games played and 59 points. The goal difference, of course, will stay at plus 12, and the goals scored this season will also stay at 67. Ware are likely, I think, will probably drop into 3rd place with what's going on around about the league, where Simon will let us know. AFC Dunstable, no game for them this afternoon, played 34, 58 points for them. Ware boys, it's the chant from away to that right hand side. Balls is there, Kevin Coons there, and Joe O'Brien there talking to the team. After this one, we'll catch up with Ball and get his thoughts on 90 Minutes Live post-match tomorrow. Look out on our socials for that. The Aylesbury players are throwing lollipops out, which is nice to see on the Community Day. There's big Derek Fahey throwing one of those lollipops. I think he can get one halfway back to Ware, I think. But he's got the build of a shot putter, let alone throwing lollipops out. But we'll be looking at what's happening around about the league. Bedford were 4-0 up against Hartford. Hartford fans behind the sofa time, I think, for you for the end of the season. Biggleswade Town 0, Tame 0 at half-time was an interesting one. Waltham Abbey 1 up against North Lee. Welling Garden City, of course, 1 up at Stockfold. Cirencester 1 up against Barton, and Kidlington and Leighton was 0-0. And Kings Langley had scored 5 against Kempston. And Kings Langley had a torrid time this time last week against Welling Garden City when they shipped 6. So always interesting days watching them. But it could be even more interesting. Right, let's see what Simon's got here.
Right, I mean, as you said, Pete, I think it's, Hartford fans, I would urge you to turn the volume down now for the next 5 seconds.
Ouch.
Bedford won 7-0 this afternoon. Cirencester versus Barton Rovers. Cirencester got another couple of goals there. They won 3-0. Hadley versus Biggleswade. Hadley were 1-0 up at half-time. That is 2-1 to Hadley. Game between Kidlington and Leighton Town, that was 0-0. 5 goals in the second half, 4 of those to Kidlington, so that's 4-1 to them. More goals at Kings Langley, not quite as many as in the first half. As we said, though, it does not look good for Kempston Rovers as they lost 6-2 this afternoon. Game between Waltham Abbey and Northley, 4-0 there to Waltham Abbey, and a terrible second half for Welwyn Garden City sees them 3-1 down at Stotfold. I'm just waiting. There was a game between Biggleswade Town and Tame United. There is 6 minutes, there's about 3 minutes of added time left. That one is 0-0.
Well, that's looking at the top of the table and the bottom of the table as well. We'll wait for Biggleswade Town against Tame, because I make it Kempston could be relegated this afternoon then. If Tame had picked a point up against Biggleswade, I think Kempston could go down. Anyway, top of the table is going to look like this. Biggleswade Town will remain on top. We won't be able to tell you how many points until we get the full-time score. Bedford will go second. Played 33, 60 points, and I suppose Ware supporters, have got one thing, and it's something for Hertford supporters. It's got even worse for them, because Ware lost their 7-1, so at least they scored a goal.
Well,
and Hertford lost 7-0, so not a good place, the New Erie, for any of our teams really. And Bedford have blamed Welwyn Garden City, of course. It's finished. Oh my word! Biggleswade Town have scored a goal right on the end. Robbie Parker has scored, and they will have beaten Tame by a 1-0. So they're still playing.
2 minutes of added time left.
2 minutes to go, so we'll see on that one. But looks like played 33, 65 points for Biggleswade Town then. Played 33, 60 points for Bedford, which means the title could be decided midweek almost if Bedford go down at Welwyn Garden City, but we'll come on to that later. Ware a third, 34-59. AFC Dunstable, in fact Waltham Abbey now a fourth, 35-58. And AFC Dunstable now moved down to fifth place, played 34-58. So let's just get that right. Biggleswade Town top with 65, Bedford second with 60, Ware third with 59, and then you've got two teams on 58, Waltham Abbey and AFC Dunstable. Welwyn Garden City have got 53. So there's a 5-point gap now between Welwyn Garden City and the bottom part of the playoffs, which by my calculation also makes it, if Welwyn Garden City don't beat Bedford on Tuesday, then their chances of the playoffs look pretty remote.
Yeah, definitely. I think when we said it a couple of weeks ago, that with this many games to go and this many games to play at this stage of the season, and such a quick turnaround could end up being the deciding factor in them making the playoffs or not. And unfortunately, we'll see what happens midweek, Pete, but unfortunately it looks like that might be the case.
Well, on the bottom of the table, Kempston will remain bottom, played 34, 29 points, minus 40 goal difference. Tame will have 34 from their 34 games, so in effect Kempston could finish above Tame, but they can't catch Kidlington, because Kidlington will be on 37 points from 33 games, and that means Kidlington are not safe yet. But it does mean that, on my calculation here, Kempston Rovers have been all but relegated this afternoon.
Yeah, definitely looks like that like the case, doesn't it? And obviously, as we said, I'm unfortunate for them. Unfortunate for us for no tomato soup next season, but obviously, we wish them all the best.
Yeah, and Aylesbury still not 100% safe, but I think pretty much so, thanks to the point that they got here this afternoon. So, after all that, it's next week. It's depending on what changes, it'll be third against fifth in Ware against AFC Dunstable. Massive game for both teams. It basically means if both teams need a win next week to get a place in the playoffs. Whoever wins, it's a winner takes all for a place in the playoffs, has finished. Biggleswade Town won Tame United 0. Biggleswade Town edging very, very close towards the championship in Southern League Division 1 Central. Plenty of goals elsewhere, none here for us this afternoon, but a point on their travels for Ware as it finished here. Aylesbury United 0, Ware 0. Super man of the match for us from Lewis Rose, 95 plus minutes from the skipper, making his first appearance since the 28th of October. They were away against Biggleswade. They didn't score on that occasion, but they shipped 4. Wasn't a happy afternoon. This was a much better afternoon as Ware edged towards those end-of-season playoffs. Thanks for listening to us wherever you've been listening to us from. If you've been out of the country and listening to us from abroad, thank you very much for joining 90 Minutes Live in association with Easy Shelf Direct, or if you're one of our regulars, we'll see you again this time next week. Watson Park, Ware against AFC Dunstable. Don't miss that. Thanks to Aylesbury for their hospitality. Good luck to them for the rest of their season as it remains. And all it remains for me is to check who came 3rd, 4th and 5th in the Grand National, or 2nd, 3rd, 4th and 5th in the Grand National. See if I actually might have made a little bit of my money back. Who knows? Enjoy the rest of your evening. Sun's still shining. I'll leave you with a full-time score here of Aylesbury United 0, Ware 0.